Hello. It's been a while. I've been extremely busy this month, all summer. I have very busy schedule. But um, again, I have been kind of collecting pictures for my journal, but I really haven't had time to work on it. I've been sidetracked, to be honest. Um, I found that I actually enjoy collecting the photo cards, and it's kind of dangerous because they can be expensive. It's, when you buy merchandise, it doesn't come in very many, and if you want to try to find them separately, they're expensive. So I decided that I would just print my own. They're not high quality per se, not like the ones that you would purchase, but they suffice. And I like it because I get to pick what I want. Like, I don't have to um, I'm not limited to, what was printed. I can pick whatever pictures I want to print it. So I found a bunch of pictures that I like, and I downloaded it from Twitter, Instagram, Weverse. I screenshot some from the music videos and whatnot. And I save them on my computer, transfer them to save them on my phone, transfer them to my computer, then print them out on the Word. And I'm going to show you how to do that because someone asked me to post a video on how I do that. And then I bought these sleeves. These are for card collectors, and I stuck them in here so that I can look through them. My plan was to eventually use some of these and make like little journals. Yeah, little photo book journals with them. But until I do, I'm going to keep them in here so that I can flip through and look through them. I really like these ones. Did you guys see this? This is from Hive Insight. This is what you get. I think it's like a photo book or something. But you get these pictures. I'm sure the ones you get at Hive is better, but I can't go to Hive, so I did the next best thing. But anyway, I have a lot. This side is the actual official photo card. So this is from the B albums. Yeah, the extra ones. This one, my son bought me the earbuds, so that's from that. Yeah. Then these are some of the ones that I printed again. So as you can see, I've been very busy printing photo cards. I've printed a lot. A little too many, maybe. My daughter yelled at me. I've shared it with some people, and it's really funny, but my daughter is a young adult. She doesn't like the fact that I am fangirling over BTS, but she tolerates it. And she yelled at me for these. She doesn't approve, but it's okay. So anyway, someone asked me to post a video on how I make my cards, and so I'm going to show you that. Okay, I apologize if this is shaky. I'm going to try to stay as still as possible, but it's a handheld, so it might shake a little bit. All right, so what I do is I transfer all the pictures in my phone to my folder. I have a Jungkook folder in my computer. The reason I know you can take screenshots on the computer, but I find that the screenshots that I take on my computer are not as clear as the ones I take on my phone. So I'll take the screenshot of my phone, save everything there. Then I transfer everything to my computer because my phone doesn't have enough memory for the thousands of pictures that I have. So everything goes onto my computer, and I just keep a few hundred on my phone. So yeah. And then you open up your Word. And usually when I open up Word, the margins are pretty wide. The top is like 1.18, and then the sides and the bottom are at 1 inch. And so you just go to Layout. You can see everything, right? Go to Layout. Go to Margins. And I usually do a custom margin. And I set everything at 0.2. So I just write 0.2 and then copy and paste into the bottom left and right. and that will give you these really small margins, which I prefer, because if you have the larger margins, you can't fit 3 pictures in a row and 3 pictures in a column. So it doesn't have to be 0.2, but you do want a smaller margin than what it opens up with automatically, unless yours is already set to be really small. And then you go to your folder, and all you have to do is, let me shrink this a little. So all you have to do is drag. Go to your pictures. You can copy and paste it, or you can just drag it over and drop it into the Word. And when you do that, it comes up pretty big. Depending on the resolution of the picture, if it's a high resolution, it'll take up the whole page. If it's a lower resolution, it will come up smaller. I do prefer using the higher resolution, just because when you print it, the quality is usually better with a higher resolution. Although since I'm using a regular printer, it doesn't make a huge difference, but it sometimes you can tell. And of course, this is way too big for a photo card. My photo cards are 3.5 by 2.5. And so what I will do is, if you click on the picture up at the top, the ribbon here, you'll see picture format. You click on that, and this bar comes up. On the far right, you'll see a little image for crop, and then you see, here, let me get closer. You see the image for crop, and then you see these two. It's the height and the width. And this is the box that you need. So when you click on the picture, go to that, come over to the height. Well, not necessarily the height, whatever is longer. If the picture is a landscape format, then the width will be longer, so then you would enter this into the width. And I just put in 3.5 to start with. And I'll do this just to get started. So then I copy that, and I will go down to all the pictures, and I will paste it. I copied 9 pictures, because 9 can fit on a sheet. So I didn't show you copying all of them on here, but there's 9 pictures. So I will go through all the pictures and just start off doing this. It is a little bit time consuming, but I find this is the easiest way for me. Not that I really know any other way, but easiest way for me. Okay, so now if you look at it, they are all at 3.5, but the width is different for all of them. So the width for the first picture is 2.9, for the second picture is 2.79, the third picture is 2.83, fourth picture is 3.15. So they're all different widths at this moment. And that is why they're not fitting 3 in a row. And of course, if I print them this way, they're not going to fit in the sleeves that I bought. And so the next thing is to crop them. And the best way that I found to do this is just crop. I mean, it's tedious. It is tedious, but this is the best way, I think. And then when you click on the crop, you get these black bars. There's one on each side and then one on each corner. And you can use these to change the size of the picture that you want. And then also there's these white dots. And that changes the picture within that crop area. So you want to be careful. When you want to change the size of the picture, use the black lines. If you want to change the size of the picture within that area, you use the dots. You move the dots. And the mouse will change. The design, the look of the mouse will change. So if you are on the black, lines, you see it becomes a black line. The mouse becomes a black line. But if you're on the dots, your mouse becomes arrows. So you want to keep that in mind. If you're trying to change the size of the the picture, you know, you want to make sure that it's the lines, because that will change that, not the arrow. It's the arrow, yeah, it looks funny. Okay, so anyway, I want to make sure that the height is at 3.5, and then the width, I like to change it manually personally. So I click on the, if you click on the picture and you click on crop, you go to the side black line, and then you move it to 2.5. And the thing is, this is not exact. So if you look here, it says 2.53. And so I do find that I have to kind of finagle with it a bit. That's 2.49. If it's 2.49 or 2.51, it's not easy to get to 2.5. So I just leave it that way. It's not that big of a deal. Another way to do it is if you click on the picture, there's a little arrow. Let's see. There's a little arrow right here that you can click. And if you click that, this box appears. And this box has all the numbers and everything. You want to deselect lock aspect ratio and relative to original picture size. So get rid of these, because if you leave those selected, then every time you change one of these, the other one will also change, which is good for most pictures, but in this case, yeah, I don't want that to happen. And so sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, I find. So if you change that to 5, oh wait a minute, maybe I want to keep the relative, oh, I don't know. Okay, let me see. So you can change that to 2.5, and because I deselected the lock aspect ratio, the 3.5 remains. If you click OK, but see what happens is, look at him, he looks weird. The picture changed. And I tried it the other way too without this, but hold on, let me see. Okay, so I tried it without the picture, relative picture thing, and it still did the same thing. It changed the way he looked, and I don't like that. Well, obviously, because that's not what we want. So I prefer the crop option and doing it manually. Again, it is kind of time consuming because, you know, it doesn't always come out perfect. So this one, the first try, came out 2.56. So I need to make it a little bit smaller. Okay, and now it's perfectly 2.5. But if you notice, for both pictures, after they were cropped, his elbow is cut off and his shoulder over here is cut off. And how do you fix that? Well, click on the picture, go back to the crop, this crop, and if you notice, after I resized it, there was this gray area, which is part of the picture that's being cut off, right? Click and hold that, left click and hold it, and then you can move the picture and just center it. And the same thing with the other one. Go over, click on the crop, click on the picture. It doesn't have to be the gray area. You can click the center of the picture and just move it, and that will help you center the picture to where you want it to be. And I will do one more here. This one is at 2.83. So click the crop. Make sure you select the black bars. Move that over. And now it's at 2.49, and again, you know, it's really hard to get it exactly at 2.5 sometimes, so I'll leave it there. And the R here is cut off. I'm not sure I'll be able to get it all in there, but I'm gonna try. Let me see. No, I'm not gonna be able to get it all in there. So the thing here is there's two options. You can leave it this way, where a little bit of the B and a little bit of the R is cut off. Or if you go back to the crop, and you don't mind having some white space on top and bottom, you can, let me see, you can go to these little white dots, and this will actually change the size of the picture within that area. So you make the picture smaller, and then you can move it so that the butter fits. But if you do this, because you made the picture smaller, you will end up with a little white area on top and bottom. So that's, you know, up to you. Either that or find a picture that's a little bit taller. It has more yellow on the top and bottom. I don't mind it being cut off a little bit, so I'm going to leave it that way. And then once you do that, usually it will automatically just go up, but you know, you can just drag it up there and it will do this. Now I find Word, Excel, these files extremely annoying sometimes because they do things. I don't know why they do the things they do, but they do things. So after I moved butter up here, I don't know if you noticed, but all the pictures on the bottom disappeared. And the way to fix that I found is go down to the next row, click next to the last picture here and click enter. And that will move that back up there. And so then all you have to do is go to these pictures, do the same thing, crop it. Like so. And then after, you know, this one, it's only these two pictures, the other pictures on the other page. I'm not worried about that because after I finish cropping these, I can go and address that. So go back down here, enter, crop this one. So it's the same process. Okay. And so then you can get 3 across, 3 down. Let me see, I didn't pick any landscape. If by chance you have a landscape, which means like you want the picture to be long, well, maybe I'll do this one that way you can see. So let's say for this one, for some very odd reason, I decided I wanted the width to be 3.5 and I wanted the height to be 2.5. Let's see. So what you can do here is, you know, if you do this, you can't fit 3. So you come up here, and up in the corner here, you will see where it says rotate. If you click this, okay, if you click that, you can rotate the pictures. Do you see how it's turning? You can also flip the pictures. But just rotate it to the side, so then it is the same direction as all the other ones. Let me just see if I can get this to be 2.5 instead of the 2.53. Oh, 2.49, that's okay. Yeah, let's say I just wanted like a really close up of his face. Okay, so that's what that would look like. And then you can continue with the rest of them the same way. Then after you get all your pictures fitted on a page, then all you have to do is print. Okay, so this is my page for butter. This is the conference pictures, the V-Live picture, another conference. What was that? That's not butter, that's something else. That's the Rolling Stones. And then, you know, these are the butter. And this one, I think it's butter, but it's not from the music video. But anyway, now that it's all completed, you can print it on whatever paper you want. I print mine on, what is it? I think it's Hammermill 100-pound paper, color copier paper. It's pretty smooth. Smooth paper, I think, prints more like a photo, but you can use photo paper, glossy paper, smooth matte paper, any of that. I think the heavier is better, like 110. I think 110 is good. I did find I purchased 130 once. That is way too heavy. It will not go through your printer. Well, it doesn't go through my printer. It gets stuck. So I think 110 is a good good thickness. And then print it and just cut it out. And you're done. There's one other thing. If you look at these pictures, it kind of looks brighter on my phone than on the screen, but this picture is a little bit darker. Like this one is brighter. All the other pictures are kind of brighter, but this one is kind of dark. On my computer it's dark. On the phone it looks a little brighter, but if you can see, it's not quite nearly as bright as some of the other ones. So I found that you can kind of edit the look of the pictures. So if you click on the picture again and then go up here to the picture format, and this bar comes out, over on the left this time there's it says corrections and then color. So if you go to corrections, it has like, I don't know what this one is called, the brightness contrast, and this middle one is usually where it's set at. This is the normal, and sometimes I like to go over one more, and that makes it a little bit brighter. I don't know if you can tell on my computer there's a difference, and it's a little bit fuzzy. It's not as sharp. And so then if you click on the picture again, go to picture format, is it here? In corrections, it says sharpen, softness, sharpen, soften. Again, the normal one is the middle one, so if you can go over 1 or 2, depending. Sometimes when you sharpen it looks really funny, and sometimes it looks okay. And on my computer, this looks better than, let me see, than the original. So you can see it looks better than the original. Sometimes I like to do this because I don't like them to be too dark when I print them. So any picture that you feel is a little too dark, or maybe not quite as crisp as you like it to be, you can try seeing how these functions, these picture edit functions work, and you might be able to find that you can make the picture a little bit nicer. I don't like to edit too much, but just sometimes. And you know, they have in color, they have color saturation, so you can make it more colorful, less colorful, you know, if you want to play around with the pictures. Yeah, this I don't really know very much about using this stuff, so I tend not to play with these all that much. But occasionally, I think I like the yellowy better. Occasionally, I do like to brighten up the pictures and stuff. So then when you print it, one, it doesn't use as much of the dark ink, and two, the picture doesn't come out so dark. Yeah, just wanted to share that. Okay, so I printed out my page, and my printer, it's not the best. I don't know if you can tell, but every now and then, on some pictures, I get these lines. I don't know why, but I think it's just the quality of my printer. It's not perfect, so I get these lines, but it doesn't bother me because, again, you know, these are just for my enjoyment. They're not meant to be professional or anything. And so I cut them, and I use a paper cutter because I'm a crafter. I have this. If you have one, you know, they're useful. If you don't have a paper cutter, you can just use an X-Acto knife or a pair of scissors, you know, whatever. And I will cut them into strips. So I cut the bottom. I cut the bottom, the side, and the top first. Because the bottom, I shouldn't say the side. Which side? Left side. I cut the left side, the bottom, and the top, because those are the sides where you know everything will be lined up. And what I mean by that is that occasionally, if you remember, sometimes the pictures didn't size properly widthwise. And so sometimes, depending on the picture, this line will not line up. These lines will always line up, but this one may not. And so I will cut horizontally first, like so. And I won't go through all of it because it's a lot, time consuming. And then I will cut vertically. And then you have your card. If you like these squares, you know, if you like having a square card, you can leave it like this. Where did I put it? Okay, and then if it's 2.5 by 3.5, it will fit into the basketball card protector sleeves, the plastic sleeves. And there you have it. And for this one, for most of them, I just leave the plain back. But if you wanted to, you can kind of put something on the back. You can print out something and glue it or tape it to the back so that it has like a back like the official ones. But I'm not going to be looking at the back, so I don't do that. If, however, like with a lot of mine are rounded corners, and I feel like that gives it much nicer look to it. And all you have to do is purchase a corner punch. I bought this one because it has different types of corners, different size, and I like the smaller one. This one is a 4mm. Super easy. Put it in. You want to make sure that both edges go all the way to the edge of the opening. So you push it all the way in and you punch it. It comes out really easy. If it's not in all the way, it won't punch properly. So you want to make sure you put it in all the way. And you do that with all 4 corners. And voila, you have your card. That's it.